Good afternoon. This is Midday Live on TV3. I'm Wendy Lai. Our top stories for this afternoon. University Teachers Association of Ghana UTAG scheduled to meet the Minister of Employment and Labour Relations and Vice Chancellors Ghana today over the ongoing strike action. And more this afternoon on the international front. Venezuelan acting President Nicolás Maduro declared winner of the special election held Sunday to succeed his late predecessor, Hugo Chavez. So I've got more of these stories and many more lined up for this afternoon. You can always get interactive. Facebook and Twitter is News on TV3 or short code 1734. Details coming up in a GP. Don't worry. Alright, so now I start with the stories. And the senior lecturer at the Political Science Department of the University of Ghana, Dr. Bosman Asai, says Iran's effort at deepening relations with Ghana should not generate concern over Western countries looking at Ghana's capacity. Dr. Bosman Asai said Ghana-Iran relations do not have the capacity to undermine international sanctions on the latter for its involvement in nuclear weapons. He spoke to TV3 on the three-nation tour of the Iranian president to West Africa, of which Ghana is included.
The West obviously must be concerned, but the point is that they shouldn't be worried. No, you can be concerned about something, but you don't have to be worried. Because the point is that look at the capacity of Ghana, look at the capacity of Iran. What are they capable of doing to really undermine the international system? So a country that is trying to undermine the sanctions they have imposed on a country like Iran, like North Korea, then what they are trying to, from their perspective, then it appears as if you are rather opposing the views of the international community. But once it has not been established that Ghana has been cooperating or has been secretly supporting the Iranians to overcome some of these sanctions, and then I think we shouldn't have any cause to worry. But the big picture is that you look at Ghana, we are more concerned about our relationship with the West. But whenever we have economic, financial challenges, etc., we look up to the West, not to Iran, not to some of these countries. So I believe that even generally the visit of the leader should not put us in a bad light. We should see it as being members of the non-aligned movement. He has the right to visit. But once it moves beyond that non-aligned movement and it becoming more bilateral, regularly we are sending delegation, they are also sending delegation, then that becomes a problem.
You're still watching Midday Live. The Supreme Court will, from April 16, 2013, start hearing of the sensitive matter in the presidential election results petition. The court has decided that all witnesses would have to come by affidavit, and the petitioners and respondents would, however, give their evidence orally. Now, DSP Freeman Tete is the Accra Regional Police Public Relations Officer, and he joins me in the studio. Good afternoon, DSP.
Good afternoon, my sister.
Now, is there any security mechanism put in place which is quite different from what we saw when this case started?
What I can say is that we'll have our normal security arrangements in place. We will do assessment, and there's a need for us to vary it, but the structures are the same, the features are going to be the same. We'll secure the inner perimeter as well as the outer. Traffic control wouldn't be a problem at all, because the MTT will be at hand to direct traffic as expected, and the normal searches will also take place. So we'll indeed be security as expected of a place of such nature and a case of such nature.
Okay. Now, talking about traffic, which you just mentioned, will some roads be blocked or there will be free flow traffic?
We don't normally block roads. Traffic will flow because you know the position of the Supreme Court building, so traffic as expected will flow. So motorists shouldn't be worried at all. Our concern is most often the crowd that will come there, so we do our best to discourage them. I know once we are on the ground, we don't expect unauthorized persons to come around. All those who be coming must come either as workers or as workers of the Supreme Court or the adjoining court, all they should come with accreditation. They should be duly accredited.
Okay. So nothing like party supporters around?
No.
At all?
Irrespective of the party, no.
Okay. Now, how many men will be deployed on that very day, which is tomorrow?
We have quite a substantial number. We normally have reserve around, so we have the number that will contain the situation.
But you can tell us specifically which numbers we're
looking at? Yeah, 100. We have the 100, so not in 1,000 though, but at the end of the day, we have the numbers that can handle the situation.
Now, initially, during the first time that this case was being heard, I remember there were issues with some journalists not being allowed in because probably they didn't have accreditation, like you have said, that those who do not have accreditation will not be allowed in. If, for example, we have journalists who are probably not aware of what you were saying now, or no preparations have been made, would there be a special case heard for them to allow them in?
No, because the space there is not so big that we'll strictly go by accreditation, because right from the day one, the judicial server has provided accreditation. It's the same accreditation that will be used, so we will not compromise on that at all.
And what time will security presence be there?
We normally get there by 4 a.m. We have to be there quite early, and then we stand down after everything. So by 4 a.m. we are already on the ground, taking our position, and then there will be a changeover when the first batch get exhausted.
Okay.
When they are tired, and we stand them down for another batch to take over from them.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. I just spoke to DSP Freeman Tete. He is the Accra Regional Police Public Relations Officer, and we're looking at tomorrow's Supreme Court issue that has to do with the start of the hearing of a substantive matter in the presidential election results petition, and was telling us the measures that security personnel will put in place, or what his outfit has put in place for tomorrow. But more on Midday Live. Registration of arms and ammunition fetched Ghana nearly 1.85 million Ghana cedis during the last 5 years. This, according to the police CID, could have been higher if arms and ammunition unit was adequately equipped and had well-trained personnel.
The Arms and Ammunition Unit of the Police Service was established by Arms and Ammunition Ordinance CAP 265 of Act 118 of 1962 and the NRCD 9 of 1972. Its core mandate includes supervision and monitoring of movement of arms and ammunition, as well as the activities of arms dealers and blacksmiths. However, the unit has only 174 personnel scattered across the 11 policing regions, 78 of whom were not trained. 5 of the 11 regions have a total of 36 personnel. This notwithstanding, the unit has mobilized a total revenue of 1,839,028 cedis between 2007 and 2012 through registration. Meanwhile, there is growing worry over the drop in revenue from 584,013 cedis in 2011 to 497,057 cedis in 2012. The one-day open forum at the police headquarters is to discuss challenges facing the unit and seek remedy.
Arms and ammunition is one of the specialized units of the CID, which requires trained personnel to effectively and efficiently carry out its functions. Hence, there is a need to train those who have been on attachment.
Director of CID Operations, ACP Frank Kofie, led the discussions.
If, for example, at the end of the year, we have imported 200 shotguns, and at the end of the year, our records show that we have registered only 50 shotguns. The 150, where do they go? I don't think it is proper for the police to attach personnel to the arms and ammunition to deal with issues that are considered very sensitive without training for such a long period of time. I'm therefore directing the Director of Arms and Ammunition here and now to put up a proposal for the training of all those untrained arms and ammunition crews.
Director of Finance at the CID headquarters, Chief Superintendent Seydou Lansa Idi, called for proper assessment of people before any arms deal in order to avoid leaving the arms in the wrong hands.
Some other news. The Minister for Local Government and Rural Development, Akwasi Oponfusu, has called on regional coordinating directors to cooperate with the various metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies to strengthen the country's decentralization process. He made the call during a two-day orientation workshop for MMDAs in the Ashanti region.
The two-day orientation workshop centered on local government capacity support program and the role of the regional planning coordinating units in the implementation of the decentralization process. The Ashanti Regional Minister, Eric Opoku, noted the importance of the workshop, stating it will improve governance at the grassroots. He was convinced capacity building could strengthen the relationship between the central government and the grassroots to ensure efficiency and effectiveness of the country's decentralization process. The Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Akwasi Oponfusu, said the capacity building workshop was key to further explain the linking role of the regional coordinating councils and district assemblies. He urged regional coordinating directors to cooperate with assemblies in order to ensure socio-economic development.
Remember, you can always get interactive on Facebook and Twitter's News on TV3 or shortcode 1734. Help has now reached the people of Potami in the South Tone district of the Volta region, 8 weeks after TV3's report on acute water shortage in the community. 3 boreholes are to be sunk for residents, courtesy former President Jerry John Rawlings. Here's a report by Daniel Lati.
On February 10, 2013, TV3 broadcast the acute water shortage in Potama in the South Tone district of the Volta region. Residents used water from a muddy pond, sharing it with cattle. The pond is now dried up. Over 3,500 people relied on the muddy pond. If one is unable to buy water from polytanks at exorbitant price, Agboja and her sisters collect the muddy water for use every day. The effect is evident. Waterborne diseases are prevalent. In the midst of the acute water shortage, the Volta Lake flows abundantly through the area. Some weeks after our report, the former president of Ghana, Jerry John Rawlings, responded, supplying 3 boreholes for the community. One is located close to the Potama Clinic, another is sited close to the dam site, whilst a third one is in the center of the community. Work was busily in progress. The expression on the faces of people here in Potama says it all. Indeed, water is a precious commodity for residents.
We saw what we're going through as people and the water we're using. So through that, this borehole from the former president is being constructed or drilled here.
We are very happy about what TV3 is doing, because about 1 month or 2 months now, we heard that TV3 came to our dam where we have been fetching water so that the water is dry now. We don't have any water here. So we are happy about what is going on here because we have 3 boreholes in the town. Everybody is happy.
We called on the former president, who lauded the news team for bringing the plight of Ghanaians to the public.
We got the security coordinator's office to loan us one of their emergency water borehole drilling machines to come and do some drilling. Situations like this are much worse for people in the villages and in the outskirts. And if there's anything that you people can do to bring this thing to the attention of the government, to the ministry, to folks who can assist, you know, it would go a long way in drawing the public's attention to come to the assistance of our people.
The District Chief Executive Officer, Daniel Ameloku, was grateful to the news team.
We are so grateful to the former president. In fact, he has been helping a lot. He initiated the beach program and then the street lights and now the boreholes. I also congratulate you. You are doing very well. Some of these stories, when they come, you see the sympathy that people have for the various areas. You see, they tend to maybe initiate certain programs to alleviate the sufferings of the people.
The people of Potame were grateful and hoped to maximize the resource.
That report was by Daniel Latte. Wherever you find yourself, if you have social or developmental issues, remember you can always get to us here at TVC, or you can also get interactive on Facebook and Twitter. It's News on TV3 or short code 1734. The news continues. And the University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, is scheduled to meet the Minister of Employment and Labour Relations, Vice Chancellors, today over the ongoing strike action. Well, UTAG has been on strike for the last 2 weeks, demanding outright payments of salary arrears. And I do have my colleague Edward Kwabi at the University of Ghana campus to give us an update on the strike action by UTAG.
Still moving around because teachers are not in class for classes to continue. They are fighting for their market premium, arrears on their market premium, and they are asking government to settle them so that they can go back to classrooms for classes to continue. I'll be speaking to some students body representatives here who will tell us exactly what has been going on campus, and I'll be speaking to Edmond Combat, who is the SRC president. He will paint a picture for us what is happening on campus.
Thank you very much. You can see that on campus, students are frustrated, some are angry. They are loitering around. The usual boisterous academic environment that characterizes University of Ghana is non-available today. And you can see some are holding their bags, they are going home. And the whole place is in a mess and all that. So on campus here, the situation is not that good as we expected it to be. This is we are entering into the third week, and tomorrow we'll be starting the third week tomorrow, and it's not something that we are actually enjoying. The whole place is dull, and we are frustrated.
Well, I understand the SRC has put in place some measures. They tried their way just to get some teachers back into class for at least for the time being, the academic calendar not to be distracted. But the SRC president is still here, so he will give us, he will paint a picture for us what he has done so far regarding that. What did you do, and how has your efforts gone so far?
Yeah, we did a lot. When we heard it, we teamed up with National Union of Ghana Students. We met Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. We met the Labour Commission. We met government, which was represented by the Minister of Information. And then we met UTAC. Before we met government, we had met these three bodies, and we declared a demonstration, that we were going to have the demonstration. But after listening to government, we realized that government had a reason for the installment, the 3 installment payment and all that. So we decided to call off the demonstration, and then we appealed to UTAC, and we assured UTAC that we were going to be the witnesses to the payment plan of government, which is going to be effected next month, July and September respectively. And we have said that if government fails to honor such a promise, University of Ghana will not hesitate at all to solidarize with its lecturers by making sure that we unleash not less than 30,000 students on the street of Accra. So we are appealing to our lecturers to come back to the lecture rooms, and then let's take to the plan of government and see whether government will stand by it or not. If government does not stand by it, everybody will know the kind of posture that they are adopting. And if everybody comes out, our parents, the citizens of this republic, joins lecturers in pressing home their demands, I don't think government will have any other place to hide. So that is what is going on, and that is what we are doing. And today there is a meeting with the Minister of Finance at 4 p.m. Another letter from the SRC has gone, which is going to be tabled as one of the appeals again, and we are hoping that everything will go on as planned.
All right, so I'll quickly talk to Emmanuel Kuramwa Amponsan, who is the SRC press secretary. He has also been monitoring what has been going on campus, students not being able to have their lectures because of the absence of lecturers on campus. What has been the mood like in the various halls you've visited, and how are students taking the strike action from their lectures?
Okay, thank you. I think generally campus has been very quiet. People are watching movies, and initially they thought this was an opportunity to catch up with their piled up notes. But it looks like when you keep doing the same thing, and then when you are done with what you are supposed to do, boredomness and then fatigue setting and all that. So they have resorted to playing games and watching movies and all that, and that is really making campus not interesting. Yeah.
Okay, and so that has been the situation here at the University of Ghana. But I'll quickly move to a different issue that happened here on campus, that is regarding the Commonwealth Hall. I am currently in front of the Commonwealth Hall, and that is the vandals. Just last week, some students of vandals or the Commonwealth Hall were arrested on their way to town. That is, they were trying to undertake a float through town because of their Hall Week celebrations. And what happened was that they had not sought permission from the Ghana Police Service, and that led to the arrest of some students. We have the immediate past president of the hall here, who is Ayisi Andrews. He's the immediate past president of Commonwealth Hall. He will paint a picture of what happened and just give us a brief update.
All right, thank you very much. What happened on Saturday was very unfortunate. You know, as has been our custom, Commonwealth Hall, every occasion of our Hall Week, we go on a float through the principal streets of Accra to announce to the general public what we have up for the week. Of course, Commonwealth Hall has been very mindful of the fact that a nation without laws cannot survive. And so we have done well in all our endeavors to respect the rules and the regulations that are in place. It is in this light that we sent a notification to the police as per the Public Order Act of our upcoming float. And the notification was a week long. And so on the day of the float, that is Saturday, we were very surprised to have police presence on campus prohibiting us from embarking on the float. And the word that we intercepted was that some media house had reported that we were embarking on a demonstration. And we are of the view that this is very unfortunate. For a democracy such as Ghana's, it is very dangerous if you have media houses reporting on issues without substantiating, because the word out there was a float and not a demonstration. Now, people will argue that both were public events and that falls under the Public Order Act. It is true. But you will also recognize that a float is not a demonstration. There's a distinction there. But in the end, we had some students, you know, of course, because the police came to campus to stop us, by that time, some students were on the streets already. And those students did not know what was going on campus. Unfortunately, some of them were picked up by the police. They ended up at the airport police station. We went later on in the day, the company of the SRC president and some other stakeholders, to grant them bail. In the end, we had to sign an undertaking on their behalf to get them back to campus. But the final word out there is that we are friends of the media, we are friends of the police, we are friends of the institutions and the regulations that be in making sure we have a vibrant country. And so we plead with the police that in future, when such issues crop up, they should exercise some kind of restraint, because some of our students were brutally beaten, and this is against the law. Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right, so that is what happened here on campus. Well over 100 students were arrested by the Ghana Police Service and they were detained. But subsequently, the SRC president in the person of Edmond Combat intervened and got them out. How did you get them out? And finally, your final words.
Well, when I reached the airport police station, I spoke to the regional police commander and explained to him. Wrote a declaration on behalf of students, and then we played it, and then they were released. Just as it was intimated, the police should try as much as possible to know that they are just citizens, just like all of us. The police are not above the law, and everybody must be seen operating within the law and not outside the law. The way the guys were arrested, we had respected the rules by making sure we sent the notification to the police. So if the Logan police station failed to forward the letter to the regional police command, that should not be visited on students. And in either case, if there was a national security situation, you don't wait until the morning of the event when the people have gone to hire trailers and all that before you come and then tell them that they are going to stop. There was a negotiation. They agreed that they should go to Medina. When the guys reached the roundabout, they said that there's another order from above that says that nobody should go out. At that time, some of the students were in town. So we are expecting that this thing has happened, it is gone. But the police must be seen as acting in concert, with the tenet that defines the Public Order Act. The fact that they've been given some powers to apply minimal force does not mean that they should continue to go, ultra vires to that particular rule by making sure that they apply maximum force and interpret it as minimal force.
All right, so it's still that the police are friends of the public, and that the mutual coexistence should always be there. I've been coming to you from the University of Ghana, to be more specific, the Commonwealth Hall, just in front of the Commonwealth Hall, and I'll hand over to you at the studio for you to continue with the rest of the bulletin. My name is Edward Kwabi.
Thank you, Edward Kwabi, and was giving us that update from the University of Ghana, Legon campus. He was also looking at the UTAC strike and its effects on students and the general atmosphere here on campus at large. You're still watching Midday Live. Here in the studio, we continue with the rest of our stories. According to child internet pornography statistics from the website familysafemedia.com, 90% of 8 to 16-year-olds have viewed pornography online, most of them while doing their homework. Portia Solomon reports the inability of some parents to educate their wards on live topics such as sex, love, and intimacy is compelling some children to get such information from pornography.
It is not difficult at all for children to gain access to any pornographic material on the internet. For example, if I just go to Google and I type pornographic video, these are the results that I get. But the question here is that what are we doing to protect children from the negative effects of the internet?
Statistics from familysafemedia.com indicates the average age of first internet exposure to pornography is 11. The internet, magazines, phones and video compact discs provide windows of opportunity in which children get access to pornographic material. Most interesting and worrying is the use of cartoon-like characters from children's series to portray pornographic material online. Discussing issues such as sex appears to be a taboo in most communities in Ghana, with many parents shying away from discussing this topic with their wards.
We were 10 years or 11 years.
I don't think my ward is of age for sex education.
So I decided to embark on a quest to find out where children were getting answers on sex education form, and I got more than what I bargained for.
Have you watched a pornographic movie or film before?
Yes, I've watched this before at the internet cafe.
So when you watched it, what happened to you?
I feel like doing some. Yes.
Has your father or mother been talking to you about sex education in the house?
No, I don't know why.
I watched mine at the internet cafe, and secondly, I watched it on a friend's phone. And when I watch it, I feel attracted to it. I feel like doing it. If I'm asleep, I feel like I'm doing it in my dream.
So after that, have you been going regularly to go and watch?
Yes, I've been going. Try to have one on my own, so I went to buy like for 3 CDs. So I sent it to watch. After I finished watching it, I felt connected to. I feel like having sex with someone.
One day I was sitting and one of my friends came to me, telling me that one of his friends gave him some movie. I asked him what is it and said it's porno. But I said I should go and research on the internet. So I went there to research it and I saw it. I spent about 2 hours there. Anytime I go to bed, I feel like having a dream about it, like having sex with someone.
Nana Rafia Kenton Brinya is a social psychologist at the University of Ghana. I asked him if it was normal for children to watch pornography.
Children tend to do or practice what they observe, and therefore when they observe, they view these things, there's a tendency for them to put into practice what they have watched. They may either go through the normal process of approaching the opposite sex in order to practice it. Whether they go through the normal process or not, it is not right, it is not appropriate because they are not of age. There's also the possibility that some people may even attempt to rape or to defile people in as part of trying to practice what they've observed.
With the multiplicity of social networking sites, many parents are either not aware of or even bothered as children visit these sites without monitoring them. This means your ward could fall prey to pedophiles and can easily engage in conversations with them. In 2012, Google executive Naomi Gama, a public policy analyst, in an interview with the Telegraph newspaper noted that parents are to blame if children view pornography online. She noted it was a myth that laws could prevent children from viewing explicit material because the pace of technological development would render legislation a blunt instrument. With little regulation, how can children be protected from excesses of the internet?
The starting point is for parents to educate their children, to know the effect of some of these things. Some parents find it very uncomfortable to raise the issue with their children, let alone to discuss it. But I will encourage them to start. I heard where you can link your child's phone to yours so that whatever they do, whatever they assess, you may be privy to it. And I think the phone company can also come out with phones that have limited, so that if you want to buy it for your kid, no matter how much they try, they will not be able to assess some of these things.
Before I parted company with the pupils, I asked what they felt in their own way should be done to protect them from the negative effect of the internet.
By preventing me from going to the internet cafe to watch it, or the managers, they must prevent children from watching that. And parents who give their children food, they must check that is that type of movies around, so that they should delete it.
Parents need to educate their children about sexual education.
Portia Solomon, TV3.
Well, that report was by Portia Solomon, and parents really do have a critical role to play in the lives of their children. Next is What You Think on Midday Live. What has been your experience at the hospital on the back of the ongoing strike action by doctors? What do you think?
When I went to the hospital, there was a doctor on duty. He treated everybody well, but it's just that the place is too congested. There are a lot of people there, and there's just one doctor on duty, and it's very, very stressing because you sit there for hours and hours before the doctor will come and attend to you.
It's giving us a headache, so we are bleeding.
Even though I've gone to the hospital, but I've been attended to by the medical assistants. They're also doing well, but maybe in case of maybe surgical or other things, I think the medical assistant cannot do that. So it's the duty of the doctor to do that. So maybe the government should see to them, and then they should try and understand the government.
We are worried anyway. We are worried about how the strike is going on. We thought even today they will come and then work. But as we see, we don't see any sign of coming. So we pray that the God will come and then look into the matter so that they give them their pay.
It's still Midday Live on TV. Few stories making headlines. University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, settled to meet the Minister of Employment and Labour Relations and Vice Chancellors today over the ongoing strike action. On the international front, Venezuelan acting President Nicolás Maduro declared winner of the special election held on Sunday to succeed his late predecessor, Hugo Chavez. Quickly Timmy is standing by for some business news after this break. Don't worry. Thanks for saying you're still watching Midday Live. Now we do have Kweko Timing here. And Kweko Timing, what's happening business this afternoon?
That's quite interesting. Now, if you have the people with the figures, would you always want to consider them anytime you're putting your budget together? Wendy, I'm sure that is one definite thing you want to do. So, well, this afternoon we have accountants' assistants being solicited later on when the budget is being put together. This afternoon we talk about this and many other interesting details in business. Well, so looking at our story straightforward, government will from next year solicit the support of the chartered accountants in formulating the national budget. This is to facilitate and assist government in adopting the public financial management program to enhance productivity. Well, Chief Director of the Ministry of Education, Francis Kobna, gave the hint at the admission of accountants into the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana here in Accra.
The Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana has trained several professionals for both the public and private sectors. It has also offered assistance to past and present governments since its inception in the 1960s. However, the institute is faced with the challenge of charlatans undermining the integrity of the profession. Compounding the problem is the lack of public financial management program to improve accountancy in the public service. Early this year, government showed commitment to adopt the public financial management program and solicit the support of accountants to formulate national budgets.
You will be expected to facilitate the implementation
implementation of the ongoing public financial management reform program if you find yourself in public service, and to support government in the formulation of financial policies and the preparation of the national budget.
At the graduation and admission ceremony, 229 accountants graduated, while 291 accountants were admitted. The graduates undertook training in auditing, oil and gas accountancy, as well as other related courses. President of the Institute, Angela Pesa, charged the graduates to uphold the tenets of the profession.
The ethics of our profession is not negotiable. If you don't abide by these ethics, you become a liability to society. But I am confident that this group is part of the solution, and you are going to work to uphold the good name of the profession.
Dean of the KNUST School of Business, Professor Joseph Prinfon, entreated graduates to consider integrity as a guiding principle.
Thanks.
So after hearing from the accountants, let's just quickly dash to aquaculture and see the business opportunities around this angle, as the Minister of Fisheries and Aquaculture, Nayong Balijo, has cautioned players in the fishing industry to desist from illegal activities to save the fish stock and their livelihood. He said government is committed to revamping the fishing sector with the needed infrastructure to improve the economy.
The minister was on a two-day familiarization tour of fishing communities in the central region for the first-hand information on the sector. He first visited fishing communities at Apam, Mumford, and Ekumfiotwem, where he was led by the Gumua West DCE, Theophilus Edu, to meet the fishing community.
They are establishing Marine Police as a unit of the Ghana Police Service. The Bema Marine Police for some speedboats a bit me ama omo akoso so no so ayo omejuma se na be ya so obi e dealing illegal fishing onya kwa yes na answer na ye aban bit me aboamo to stop trawlers, particularly pair trawlers, from coming to your side. Ese muso mu born in illegal fishing mojai.
The chief of APAM, Nana Obutantam Idu Ephraim, complained about the effects of irregular supply of premix and high cost of outboard motor on the industry. At Mumford, Nayong Bilijo said government is pursuing vigorously plans to construct a breakwater to reduce canoe breakages, which often result in deaths during high tide. At Ekumfiotwem, the fisheries minister, accompanied by the MP for the area, Abeku Krensel, and some personnel of the district assembly, announced plans to establish an alternative livelihood sources and a life insurance policy for fisherfolk. On day 2 of the tour, the Central Regional Chief Fisherman, Nana Akwonu, requested that the outboard motors must be given to them at the beginning of the fishing season to ensure the honor payment schedules. The minister, Nayong Bilijo, promised to liaise with the Minister for Roads and Highways for speedy rehabilitation of the bridge across the Benya Lagoon, since its absence was affecting business activities. Adding, only Elmina and Jamestown would have fishing harbors constructed, whilst landing beaches would be constructed for 6 more areas. He urged people to embrace aquaculture as an alternative source of livelihood, and especially during the off-season. Nayong Bilijo also interacted with the staff at the regional offices of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture and set off for the fishing community of Mori, where he had similar interactions with the fishing community.
So it comes with a lot of interest. I'm sure the fisheries minister has been able to engage the fishermen so that we could get enough fish for our fish protein needs. It's time for us to go on to the commodity market. I will update you, but if you have various commodities losing on the market, what signals does this send to you? Well, I'll give you the examples. We have gold losing as much as $75, and this is what we checked from Bloomberg commodity prices just about some few seconds ago. So this very much updated. Now you have cocoa also dropping $7, and then it trickles down to coffee and then cotton, with crude oil seeing that marginal decline also. So streak of losses on the market. But let me just quickly refresh you on it. Gold price currently on the market has hovered around $1,411.19 US an ounce on the international market. Cocoa not looking too good around this time, $2,260 US a ton on the international market. And then crude oil signaling that production is marginally low, around dropping $1.75 US here as a current price of $101.30 US on the international market. So those are some updates we have. My name is Kweku Timin. At 4:30 we'll do business and we'll tell you about how the Ghana cedi has performed against other major trading currencies. My name is Kweku Timin. Enjoy your afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm smiling because I do have the Red Tiger in the studio, and I'm quite surprised because he was telling me about the Starlets match, which is Ghana and Nigeria, and it was a 6-1 result. It's very. What happened?
Yeah,
what went wrong?
I mean, it's the Africa Under-17 Championship currently in Morocco, but that 6-1 loss over Nigeria yesterday, not too good news. But Coach Park Kwesi Fading is saying he shoulders the responsibility. Let's see going into the game against DR Congo on Wednesday whether they can put some surprises. Well, so those and other interesting stories here on the sports segment of Midday. My name is Jola Champong. Welcome. This is the sports segment. We're back after this. All right, welcome back. This is the sports segment. Let's quickly start with the national under-17 side, the Black Starlets. And Coach Park Kwesi Fading says he shoulders the responsibility for his side's 6-1 loss over Nigeria yesterday in the Africa Junior Championship, admitting he got his tactics all wrong.
It had been supremely confident in the build-up to their opening game against Nigeria, but were served huge slices of humble pie in a disappointing display. Nigeria raced into a 3-0 first half lead and never looked back, adding 3 more in the second half to complete a 6-1 routing. The defeat was a bitter pill for the Ghana side, who are desperate to fetch one of the 4 places available to Africa at the 2013 World Under-17 Cup in the United Arab Emirates later this year. But the team remained confident they will book one of those places. Coach Park Kwesi Fading's first task is to get the players ready for their game against Congo, and he's in no doubt they will be up for it. Fabian admits his tactics and approach didn't work against Nigeria and has promised they will do much better against Congo. Ghana must now win their remaining 2 games to stand any chance of making the semi-finals. The Black Starlets, who are 2-time world champions, have not reached the Under-17 World Cup since 2007 when they finished 4th under coach Silas Tete in South Korea.
Also, we're wishing them all the best come Wednesday as they face Congo. Away from that story, let's turn our attention to the local side, and Accra Hearts of Oak and the former Black Star midfielder Lai Kingston has issues with Accra Hearts of Oak, and Accra Hearts of Oak are studying a request by the midfielder Lai Kingston to have his indefinite suspension by the club lifted after apologizing on the actions last year.
Kingston's time at Hearts has been a tale of one controversy after another. He fell out with coach CK Akono, slapped a team accountant, went on trials in Iran without the club's permit, and then put in a request to have his contract terminated. Now he wants an indefinite suspension lifted so he can play for the Phobians again after failing to land a contract in Asia. Kingston has sent a letter to Hearts apologizing for his actions after his request to have his contract terminated was rejected by the club. Hearts board chairman Togbe Afedi says the club will be more than happy to consider his request to have the suspension lifted once he has expressed remorse for his actions. The timing of Kingston's apology letter is intriguing as it comes so close to the meeting with Asante Kotoko in the domestic league. Hearts have struggled for much of this season and are just 4 points clear of the relegation zone. If there is a feeling Kingston can aid that relegation battle, then he will most certainly get a look back in.